You're not living with your own thoughts, though you think you are. Introduction. A quiet. Realization. There comes a moment in life quiet, almost haunting, when you pause in the middle of your day and ask, is this really what I believe? Or is this just what I've been told to believe? It could happen while scrolling through social media, watching the evening news, or even during an argument where the words coming out of your mouth feel borrowed. If you're over 25, you've likely faced the pressure to be someone successful, responsible, agreeable, productive. But amidst this societal momentum, how often have you stopped to inspect the very fabric of your thoughts? This article isn't just about being more mindful. It's about uncovering a truth most of us avoid. You might not be living with your own thoughts, but rather with those programmed into you. Let's begin. Part 1. The noise. That isn't yours. Think about the first time you chose what to wear because you were afraid of being judged. When you agreed with a political opinion just to keep the peace. These may seem trivial, but they're early signs that your thoughts might not be yours. From a young age, we're conditioned by parents, teachers, religion, peers, media to think a certain way. We absorb these influences like a sponge, mistaking them for our own insights. By the time we reach adulthood, we've constructed an identity made up of other people's values, opinions, and fears. The result? A sense of quiet discomfort. A feeling that your life is somehow off track, even though you've done everything right. But how can you tell if the thoughts you're thinking are truly yours? Part 2. The illusion of autonomy. We live in an age where autonomy is glorified. Think for yourself, we're told. Yet every click, like, and scroll is subtly shaping your internal landscape. Algorithms feed you what you're already likely to agree with, confirming your biases and dulling your curiosity. Your sense of self becomes a loop of recycled thoughts. This is what success looks like. This is what love should feel like. This is what I should be doing at this age. But these aren't original beliefs. They're culturally constructed norms repackaged as personal truths. And until you pause to audit them, they'll dictate your life. This illusion of free thought is seductive because it offers safety and belonging. But true mental freedom requires the courage to challenge everything you've absorbed. Part 3. The subtle pain of living a borrowed life. A life driven by borrowed beliefs feels like wearing someone else's clothes. They may look good from the outside, but they never quite fit. You start experiencing emotional exhaustion, lack of fulfillment, despite external success. Nagging sense of inauthenticity from your passions and desires. These symptoms aren't random. They are signals from your deeper you, too, return home. To remember who you were before the world told you who to be. But how do you return to yourself in a world that constantly distracts you from you? Part 4. The practice of mental deconstruction. Mental deconstruction is the act of pulling apart your thoughts and asking, where did this come from? It's not easy, but it's essential. Start by journaling. What do I believe about success? Where did that belief originate? Does it still serve me? You'll be surprised how many of your core values are simply inherited expectations. Next, limit your inputs. Take a break from social media. Read books from opposing perspectives. Embrace silence. In the quiet, your authentic voice, faint but persistent, will begin to surface. And finally, be willing to disappoint others. Saying, "This is not my belief," will sometimes mean losing approval. But in losing it, you gain clarity. Part 5. Rebuilding. From within. Once you've cleared the mental clutter, the next step is reconstruction. This is where you define your version of success. Reclaim your emotional language, curate relationships that reflect your values. You begin to live by design, not default. And slowly, the dissonance fades. Your decisions align with your spirit. Your boundaries become sacred. Your inner life begins to feel like home. This isn't a one-time epiphany, it's a lifelong process. But each day you choose honesty over habit. You inch closer to your true self. Part 6. Real-life practices you can apply at home. 1. The daily thought. Audit. Each evening, write down 3 dominant thoughts you had that day. Ask yourself, were these reactions mine or echoes of others? 2. Create a belief jar. On slips of paper, write beliefs you hold. For example, I must be married by 30. Fold them, place in a jar. Every week, pick one and reflect. Is this true? For me? Or just familiar? 3. Practice conscious consumption. Be intentional about what you read, listen to, and watch. Follow creators who challenge your thinking, not just those who validate it. 4. Have discomforting conversations. Talk with people who hold different beliefs but with curiosity, not combat. It helps sharpen your understanding of your own position. 5. Protect sacred time. Spend at least 15 minutes daily in solitude. Not with music, not with a podcast. Just you and your thoughts. It's here the real you begins to reappear. Part 7. The quiet. Power of owning your mind. When you begin to live with your own thoughts, something profound happens. You stop reacting. You start responding. Your emotions become tools, not tyrants. Your decisions gain weight not from pressure, but from intention. Most importantly, you begin to feel alive again, not in bursts, but in steady, grounded presence. You no longer chase validation. You stand in your own knowing. And that kind of peace, it's unshakable. You're no longer just existing. You're living on your own terms. Conclusion, come home to yourself. Maybe it's time to ask the question you've been avoiding. Whose life am I really living? The answer makes you pause. That's not a failure. It's an invitation. 2. Unlearn, to reframe. To come home to your truest self. And if this message touched something in you, it stirred a quiet awakening, then don't let the noise of the world drown it out again. Subscribe to Awaken Mindset. Join a community where inner freedom is more valuable than outer applause. Where your thoughts are your own and your life finally feels like yours.